Hey there, strange and unusual viewers. Today we're going to be summoning the ghost with the most in order to take a wild ride through the afterlife. That's right, because I stopped off at my local video store and I rented Beetlejuice. So let's explore why this film is the ultimate guide on how to avoid going bioexorcist bankrupt and why it's never a good idea to say his name 3 times. Say his name 3 times and what do you get? A timely review of the original Beetlejuice, that's what you get. On this episode, we celebrate the 1988 Tim Burton film that made possessions a cool thing again, with the sequel finally hitting theaters this weekend. I hope you're as pumped as I am because this sequel is 36 years in the making. It's crazy to think it's been that long, but here we are. The question is though, will the sequel live up to the hype of the original? So, before we answer that question, it's showtime, folks, as we jump right on into Beetlejuice. We open the movie in the quiet town of Winter River, Connecticut. Barbara and Adam are finally on vacation, and instead of going to a nice place like Jamaica, they're planning on a staycation for the next 2 weeks. They make a quick trip to town for Adam, but on the way home, Barbara, in an effort to avoid hitting a dog, they crash off a bridge and head straight into the river. They come back home but quickly realize that things are not right, and in fact, they might be dead. Adam, being freaked out of his mind, decides to retrace his steps back to town, but ends up in a desert world full of sandworms. He narrowly escapes but finds out that even though he was there for a few seconds, he was actually gone for 2 hours. They stumble upon the handbook for the recently deceased. This pretty much confirms that they are dead and are now full-time ghosts. Their home is sold to the Dietz family, as Charles, Delia, and their daughter Lydia arrive at the home. Along with Otho, they begin to gut this house inside out, much to the dismay of Adam and Barbara. After not really being able to figure out the new handbook, they find that there is a way to get to another world in order to ask for help. They arrive in a waiting room full of other dead people and find out that death is different for everyone. They meet their caseworker Juno, who tells them it's their job to get the Dietz out of their home. Earlier in the film, they found a flyer for Beetlejuice. They ask Juno about him, but are told under no circumstances to ask for his help. Once back in the home, they try their best to scare the Dietz, but find out that only Lydia can see them. Soon after making friends with Lydia, they make first contact with Beetlejuice. They quickly realize that making contact with this dude was a big mistake. They attempt one more time to scare the Dietz family as they possess the entire dinner party. Unfortunately, not being scared off like they had planned, the Dietz now see this as a business opportunity and want to pitch this to Charles's boss, Maxie Dean. Beetlejuice soon makes his presence known by transforming into a snake and almost killing the entire family. Shortly after this, Adam and Barbara are summoned back to Juno's office as she knows that they contacted Beetlejuice and that they now have to make things right and get rid of the Dietz from this house once and for all. While gone, Lydia goes looking for them and is almost suckered into summoning Beetlejuice in order to find Adam and Barbara. Luckily, they arrive back right in the nick of time to stop this from happening. They are now set up for Maxie Dean and his wife to come out to the home for the big pitch. Earlier in the film, Otho had taken the book for the recently deceased, and with the book's help, he's able to conduct a seance as they summon Barbara and Adam. But they begin to wither right away, and Otho has no clue how to stop it. In an act of desperation to save her friends, Lydia calls Beetlejuice to come save the day. She first has to agree to marry him. Once the agreement is in place, it's showtime. Beetlejuice takes out Maxie D and his wife, and also Otho. The wedding stage is prepped, and it looks like Lydia has said yes to the dress. Adam and Barbara desperately try and stop this unholy wedding from concluding. Finally, Barbara rides a sandworm through the roof as it takes out Beetlejuice and saves Lydia from having to marry him. The end of the movie shows the Dietz and Adam and Barbara all living together in the home, as Barbara and Adam even help Lydia in her everyday life. we are left seeing Beetlejuice back in the waiting room and being up to his normal hijinks. As well, he ends up getting his head shrunk down, but hey, this might be a great look for him. Beetlejuice is a movie that I have gone back so many times over the years and rewatched. Michael Keaton is the perfect fit for this character, and really makes the whole film. Plus throw in Winona Ryder and Gina Davis, plus Alec Baldwin and the rest of the cast, it's one stellar comedy horror film, as it has proved to be a hit with all generations since. I remember vividly going to the Blockbuster and my dad let me pick out a legit movie to actually buy. So I chose Beetlejuice and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I have owned this movie on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now on 4K, plus a digital copy. It's hard to believe that the sequel took 36 years, as to me it feels just like yesterday we were celebrating its 10th anniversary in 1998. I really do hope that the sequel does live up to the original, as the original Beetlejuice is a solid film that I have celebrated for decades. Just remember, when you say Beetlejuice 3 times in a row, you better be ready, because the juice will be on the loose. And no, I'm not talking about O.J. Simpson. Until then, I'll see you at the video store.